Hello, hello, hello. What's up, my people? We're already having technical difficulties, man. I don't know what's going on. I can't believe I didn't have my headset on. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Sister, I see you watching, man. Thank you for tapping in, for joining in. Let me see. All right, for sure. Okay. Welcome everybody to the first ever Familia Assets podcast. This is exciting. It's been quite some time that I've been thinking about launching it. I want to give a shout out to Gary V. If you guys don't know who he is, go on and follow him on Instagram. Man, he's doing big things. Um, but I was reading your book called Crush It, and it definitely got me pumped up. It got me wanting to get the ball rolling for this. I'm not, 100% ready, but I'm guessing, people are never 100% ready to do anything. But hopefully you get wind of this, man. One time we're going to have you on the show sometime in the near future, hopefully. But the reason why I wanted to get this podcast started um, was because the last year or so I've been reading up a lot on different vehicles for generational wealth. I got my 5-year old son. I got my daughter that's coming on the way if all goes good. Within the next month. Um, and I wanted to make sure that they were straight. I've gained a fair amount of knowledge on the topic, on investing, on the stock market, on now cryptocurrency coming, the blockchain. So when I talk to my loved ones back in the states, I'm in Nicaragua right now. Shout out, Nicaragua. But I would bring up investing and cryptocurrencies, and they would kind of look at me like, "What's this guy talking about?" Like this guy's tripping. Like, that's not for us. That's like for the white people. One of my primos even told me, he goes, "That's like a scam." He goes, "Don't even get into that." He goes, "That's like a scam." So, once I heard that, I knew that I had to relate the message, that it's not a scam, man. I mean, people are making money in the stock market. And, if you have money saved up, saving money, it doesn't really do anything, man. I mean, it doesn't make sense for you to be saving your money. You're making probably like 2% on interest on it, and they're using that same money that you're saving, and they're making like 20-30% on it. So that I don't think that that's fair, man. But anyways, this episode is basically to introduce myself. I want you guys to know who I am, where I'm coming from. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Osmar Lopez. I was born in Nicaragua. I went to the States when I was about 1 years old. I grew up in San Jose, California. Shout out to all my sharks out there, man. If you're listening, in an apartment complex called El Rancho Verde. Shout out, everybody. That's family right there. Um, but before I talk about myself, I want to go ahead and talk about maybe my my parents. My parents' story, the way everything happened, right? So my parents are first generation, of the family that went to the States. They come from Nicaragua, where it was like in the 70s and the 80s. I mean, we're talking a third world country, just coming out of a civil war with extreme poverty. Give me 1 second, man. My son's over here yelling at my dog, man. Hold on. So, anyways, so it's a third world country, man, just coming out of a civil war. Extreme poverty, man, extreme poverty. And it sucks because that mindset never really left, the people. I mean, we're 2021, and people are stuck on that mindset, man. But that's a whole nother episode we can talk about. But back to my parents, right? They went to the States. It's a major step up from where they were at in Nicaragua. Shout out, for that big move that they made. My dad was actually the first one to go. He went by himself. Then he got my mom, my sister, and myself. Shout out, to my tío Patricio, the whole family, man. You guys, helped us out a lot. Highly appreciated. Um, but my parents got to working as soon as possible. I mean, it was like they arrived one week, and the next week they're already like clocking in, and that was the concept that they had about the United States, right? Is get to the States, find a job, just work, man. Try to get legal, work your ass off, man, and that's pretty much the whole concept they had. And I'm pretty sure that's with a lot of the majority of us, people coming from different countries, man, they have hard times. So it's a step up going to the States. The plans that they had, for me and my sister is pretty much standard, man, for the perfect American family. Get a good education, man, graduate high school, attend a college. If you smart enough, you get a grant. If not, you gotta get into a crazy ass debt to get a education. Find a job to pay off that crazy ass debt. Start a family, purchase a home, get a mortgage, another crazy ass debt. All this till you're like 65, right? Then it's like literally just repeat the process from generation to generation. Um, it's not a coincidence, that there's a bunch of debt that is in this whole process. This is something that was made on purpose. Um, but anyways, I don't want to take nothing away from my parents, man. My parents did their thing, man. The fact that they were able to, leave a situation where they were at, and they went to a whole nother country. They didn't know nothing about the country. They got two kids with them. Um, it's amazing. It's really inspiring. I think about myself right now in my situation that I'm in right now with my son. He's 5. My daughter's on the way. It's kind of the same situation where he was at. I know it was probably a little crazier at those times, but it's a hard decision, man, to get up where you're from and be like, hey, we're gonna go to a whole other place and we're gonna do a whole nother life. So I gotta give a shout out to them. My parents just retired. Shout out to that. They worked their asses off. I think it was a well-deserved break that they need. But shout out to all the immigrant parents, man. Shout out to all the immigrant parents out there. Um, you guys support your family, and I don't think a lot of people notice this. But after supporting their immediate family, they're still supporting the family, where they're from, supporting family in Nicaragua, supporting family in Mexico. And there's people depending on them over here, while they're over there, hustling, man, just working, 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 working. Um, but man, congratulations to my parents that they were able to retire. I'm sure that's a lot for a lot of the same situation for a lot of my other Latinos. It doesn't matter where you're really coming from. You know, we're all the same people, man. We all go through the same struggles. I also want to include that in this podcast. I want to bring unity. There's a bunch of different stuff out there that has nothing to do with nothing, and it's really uh, making groups that are not necessary, right? We need to all come together because that has a big part to do. Um, but anyways, I do want to go ahead and say, I am who I am today because of the principles that they have showed me. Thank you for that. I probably haven't told you guys I'm doing this right here on the live, right? Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Um, and that's what makes our culture unique, right? We do have that love. We got that respect. We got that fire, man. And when I say our culture, uh, I want to go ahead and give a shout out. Shout out to Nicaragua, to Mexico, El Salvador, Belize, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Honduras, Panama, Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Paraguay, Uruguay, Perú, Venezuela, Cuba, República Dominicana, Puerto Rico, Haití, Guayana Francesa, Guyana, Surinam. Man, I want to give a shout out to all my Latino community. I don't want to miss anybody. If I miss anybody, hit it up on the comment section. Man, I used to hate when people used to be like, man, shout out to all my Latinos. They used to name a bunch of countries and they leave Nicaragua out. So I wanted to make sure that I got everybody in there. Shout out to my whole Latino community. But anyways, like I said, man, I don't want to take away anything away from the immigrant parents. They did their thing, man. We're we're who we are today because of them, and it's admirable. But to get back to kind of my story, I was a calm kid. Pops was real strict with us. I would have a curfew. I used to hate it, man. He used to be like, "You got to come in," and I used to go inside my room, and all my boys would be chilling. Outside of my house, man. You hear everybody messing around right there, and I'll be like, "Damn," I started sneaking out. I had to wait for my pops to go to sleep. I remember he started snoring. He used to start snoring. I used to be sneaking out, right? But as a kid, we had always, man. Not as a kid, we always had, what are our essentials, right? I probably didn't appreciate it at the time as much as I should have, but we always had everything that we needed. Um, but again, I would be the one, rocking the Spaldings to school. Everybody would be rocking Nikes and shit like that. And then I used to get teased, man, and I even got bullied. When I was younger. Then I started messing around, man. I started drinking, started smoking, started kicking it with the older homies from the neighborhood. Then I thought I was a gangster, doing little dumb shit. But always in the streets, every day just drinking, smoking, not doing shit, man. I just wanted to mention at this time I'm around 18, 19, right? The only thing that I thought that I can do to get $10,000 was selling drugs, rob somebody. Yeah, I even thought about rapping, man. We even had some raps out there. um, and I thought maybe even like saving money, So I would be working, a little paycheck, you know. I would never save money for shit though, right? But that was the only way I thought I could get 10,000. Um, I just read a post yesterday from it's Investing Latina. Follow her on Instagram. Dope page to follow. She gives out a lot of game. She was talking about her 19-year-old sister. She had invested $1,000 a year ago in an account, and that account has grown now to a five-figure account in a year. Uh, that's a big deal, right? I wish someone would have told me at 19, hey, you can invest some money into the market. Do your research, start reading up on companies and everything, and you can make money, right? It took me still from 18, let's say 20, it still took me like 10, 12 years to know about that's even possible. So that's what I want to do here too. Shout out to Investing Latina. We hope to have you here on the show in the near future. You do have a great perspective on investing, and shout out to all the women, man, that are out there investing. I got introduced to a community of Latinos, and it's a lot of women there, man. A lot of women. We would like to have you all on the show. Um, I don't. There's no barrier. Any male, female, man. We all, are the same. Um, but anyways, I just wanted to mention that because at this time I'm thinking the only way I can make money is rob, sell drugs, rap, or save, and who knows when I would save $10,000. So for all my youngsters out there, man, there is a way. Investing, learn about it. There's money to be made there. But back to me. I ended up graduating high school. It was easy to me. All it was going to a classroom. The teacher sits up there. He tells you what to do, uh, and then he gives you some paper for you to do it too. I didn't see uh, really anything about it. It wasn't, I never questioned it. I never questioned anything that we were learning, all the history that they were giving us. I just thought it was what we had to do, and everybody was doing it, so we did it too, right? Um, but, mi gente, I want everybody to know that we have been manipulated. We are still being manipulated since we were babies, man. Really. Uh, Everything from the school system and everything is done, to get us to do certain things. So if you're watching this right now, you think that society is in your favor. I want to be the one to open your eyes and let you know that it's a lie. It's probably the biggest lie ever told. But anyways, that's a whole nother topic. Um, I graduated. It was easy to me. I had did it for my parents, right? It was a big deal to them. It wasn't really hard for me. I started community college, and at this time, I don't know what the fuck I want to do. Like, I'm doing like basic classes in community college. I'm not even thinking 5 years from now. And I'm just lost, really. My options were the options that I gave you guys, man: selling drugs, fucking robbing somebody, rapping, or saving. And a 9 to 5 was definitely not cutting it, right? Community college ended up getting cut short. I ended up getting into a fight. It was a real simple fight, outside of a 7-Eleven King and McKee. Shout out to the East Side, everybody. I hope I got my people listening here, man. But anyways, we went to go get some beers. I was with a couple of homies. We seen some people that we had some beef with. We went outside. We ended up getting into a fight. I didn't really think nothing about it. It was just whatever. The police ended up getting involved though, and it was a broken nose involved. They labeled it as gang related, and they had it all on camera right in front of the 7-Eleven, man. Um, it was. I was like, okay, whatever. Bond. I ended up going to a court date, and it was on another traffic violation, but they ended up getting me there. And I was like, well, what can happen? It's not gonna be no big deal. Whatever. That shit looked crazy on paperwork, though. It looked real crazy on paperwork. And the first time I went to court, they had offered me 5 years. 5 years, and I was like, what the fuck? I go, 5 years. And the public defender was like, yeah, man, that you should take it because like this, like that, like that. And I was like, damn, oh, hell no, I'm not taking that shit. But now that I realize, the whole prison system, the jail system, it's all a business, and they're just trying to get people locked up. Every day that there's somebody locked up, they're making money, man. And I didn't realize it at that time, but the public defender's not out to save you or anything. So I was like, nah, nah, nah. They got me another public defender, and I ended up doing 8 months, 8 months in county, and I settled for a strike. That's the only reason they let me out. I had a strike on my record. Now, I got out, a week or two. I was laying low, keeping calm. Then it was right back to the same shit. Um, caught a couple DUIs along the way. Did a couple months here and there, county time. I wasn't doing nothing though. I feel like, I was lost when I started community college. I went to jail. I got out, and I'm probably more lost than when I went in. Um, and I was, went like that for a good while. Then around April 2012, I was about to get off probation. I remember I was like, yeah, I was pumped, man, because once you're in the system, it's hard to get out. And I was like, yeah, for sure, I'm almost done. Then ICE shows up to my door, and my sister, she comes, wakes me up. I was sleeping, and she's like, hey, the cops are outside. And they had told her, that they just wanted to see, who was in the house. Um, I was still on probation. I had some stuff in my room. I was like, boy, I got everything out. I went to go put it in my sister's room. And I go outside. They're just like, hey, you're blah blah blah, half asleep, and they just handcuffed me. Boom, boom. At this time, there's not, as much information as there is now. For immigrants, you don't have to go outside, man. So if you guys are immigrants, if you don't know, your laws, get to researching that. They're definitely laws for you guys. And at this time, I didn't know none of that. I get handcuffed, and the whole time I'm just like confused, right? I'm waking up, man. I'm handcuffed. I'm starting to see, that they have ice on their jackets, and I'm like, wait, what's going on, right? They take me to the holding tanks, and I'm there, and they start telling people, okay, you're gonna be fighting your case. You're gonna be fighting it here in San Jose. You're gonna be fighting it here in San Jose, and then they start going, and you're gonna be going to Texas. You're gonna be going to New Orleans, and I'm like, whoa, what? And they tell me, and they're like, you're going to Arizona to fight your case. And I was like, nah, bro, I'm good. I'm good. I'll fight it right here in San Jose. And they were like, nah, bro, you're going to Arizona. But I was just confused this whole time, right? Because I remember with with the paisas, man, the compas from my apartment complex. We used to fuck around with them. We used to be like, la mira, just fucking around with them. Now I'm here in a holding tank with La Migra, right? So I'm just like, man, like what the hell? Tripping. Um, I get to Arizona, start talking to people there, and start realizing that ain't nobody gonna beat that case, right? There's certain things that could happen for you to be able to stay in the states. I did not, comply with any of them. My mom at this time, she's just, shooken up, man. My whole family, man, shooken up. ICE got me. I'm gonna get deported. Um, she's trying to get a loan, trying to see, how she could get a lawyer. And of course, lawyers are like jumping on that because they see desperation and everything. She's trying to get money to fly out. And I'm glad I was able to convince her not to, because I knew our situation wasn't the best, and I wasn't trying to be that burden. Um, but anyways, man, I did like a 5-page letter, I remember, to the judge, pretty much begging him like, hey man, I'm American, man, I've been here since I was one, and I got like 10 reference letters, shout out to everybody that showed me love. And the judge didn't see shit. He put everything aside. He read the whole case, everything, just said peace, right? So I go back to my cell. I'm there waiting still like 2 months before I can go out. I'm still in Eloy, Arizona, preparing myself, mentally to my arrival for Nicaragua. Then boom, I'm on the plane, right, cuffed up, looking like Con Air, man. They go to El Salvador. Once we get to El Salvador, they uncuff us. We're in the plane, and I'm just like, what? They don't want us to jump out, man, in the States still, or we could jump out in El Salvador. But anyways, I get to Nicaragua, right? Um, at this time, I didn't know it, but it was probably the best thing that has ever happened to me. And it's crazy, right? Because at that moment, I'm like, fuck, like what the hell just happened to me, right? Like I'm rock bottom. Like I went like past rock bottom, right? Like rock bottom was still in the States. Like I'm past that. Um, and I'm just like, wow, it's a big time cultural shock. Um, but I arrived, Nicaragua, freshly deported. Everyone looking at me crazy. I have big ass pants on, right? Big ass shirt on. Um, I got a bunch of relatives that were waiting for me at the airport, and I started hugging everybody, kissing everybody. It's funny because I started hugging and kissing people that weren't even waiting for me. They were there waiting for some other people, but I was just lost. I was just like, what, yeah, whatever. But on the way home, I was just wow, shocked, man, looking at everything, how it moves. I mean, the last time I was in Nicaragua was in 2000, and this is 2012. It was 12 years ago. I had came for a month only. I was young too, and I didn't really, analyze anything. So it was new to me. Everything was new to me. Um, Big time cultural shock. I do recommend all my Latino people, if you get a chance, man, and you haven't gone to your native country, go. Go check it out, man. It's a big time eye opener. Don't go just, to go to really analyze everything, the whole culture, everything, because it does have part to do with you, and it does, help you out and knowing yourself, and it helps you realize a lot about yourself and a lot of why you do what you do. So if you guys do get a chance, definitely go to your country. If you're from Nicaragua, hit me up, man. We got our tour company over here in Nicaragua, Entre Lagos y Volcanes Tours. Come out here. If you guys looking to do a vacation too, man, come out here, man. It's beautiful. But anyways, it didn't take me long to adapt to being here in Nicaragua. I mean, I'm coming off of a 23-hour lockdown. Everybody over here parties. Everybody every weekend just looking to get drunk, man. That was me. I did find a job ASAP. That's something that I think I learned from my parents. Man, they always kept a job, man, no matter what. Um, and that stuff passes down to your kids. The things that you do is not just what you tell them. I mean, whatever you're doing right now, they're looking at it and they're definitely mimicking. So be careful what you guys do around your kids. But anyways, I got a job, and through all the bullshit, I was still working. And from 2012, since I got to Nicaragua, to 2019, well, not even 2012. I mean, from when I started working like at 16. So from 2004 to 2019, I would basically work to party, go out, and I never saved shit. Like I would save like probably for like little stupid stuff, uh, but I never really saved. And the most important part is I never invested, because saving is not the way to go. That's what I'm here trying to tell you guys too. If you guys got a savings account that you guys are really looking to hold for 5 years, 10 years, um, there's a lot of options that you guys got, um, where you guys are going to be making more money than putting it to a savings account. Um, but anyways, from 2004 to 2019, all the time that I've worked, that's like 15 years, I never invested nothing. Um, that's crazy. I think about that now. That story from Investing Latina. I was like, man, if I were to invest $100 Not even $100 doesn't have to be. It could have been $50. So you don't need a lot of money to start investing. So if I would have invested $50 from every paycheck into a, a account that I have, into a, I don't want to start throwing out terminology, but an ETF, bonds, it would definitely, I would have a lot of money right now, right? So it hurts sometimes when I start doing the math. I don't even like doing the math. Um, but that's why I want to do this podcast too. I want to make sure that everybody out there knows what you got to do. Um, but anyways, back to my situation. I'm here in Nicaragua, partying. The only thing to do here, drink, you know. Um, and I started fucking up. I started fucking up. My drinking started affecting my family. It started affecting my work. It started affecting my well being. And it started affecting, most of all, my inner peace. Um, I remember I sat down with myself and I had a deep conversation with myself. I know it's crazy for a lot of people. It's not something easy to do, but I recommend it for everybody. If you guys are going through some things, talk to yourself, man. That person that's in your mind is actually you, man. It's a higher you. Um, and you could actually get things done, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's a whole nother episode, too. But I was talking to myself, and, you know, I came to the conclusion that I had to stop drinking. I was looking at all my L's, right? All my losses that I was having, and it was like a 99.9%. All of my losses were coming because of drinking. So I stopped. I stopped drinking cold turkey. It's crazy. It's crazy. My mom, I remember my mom was coming out here in about like a week from when I stopped drinking, and everybody's like, "Oh, he stopped drinking because his mom came, whatever." But it had a big part to do with it. But no, man, I was messing up. I talked to myself. I realized what I had to do, and I did it. It was like a switch went on. Um, but from then on, I was already like um, looking at different stuff, for investing in different things like that. Um, but from then, when I stopped drinking, I really started taking it more serious, right? I heard someone say that it's not who you hang around with no more. I remember, before it was, show me your friends and, I'll show you who you are. Um, Times are changing, man, especially now, with COVID, people are not coming out as much. Um, so someone said it's not who you hang around with anymore, it's who you follow on social media. And and that's some true ass shit. It's true. And you follow certain things on social media, man, whatever you're consuming, and it works for you, man. It just goes back to not feeding your mind garbage, right? So, I recommend, if you guys got some social media pages that are not nothing, doing nothing, man, erase them. Start following some influencers, some mentors. I call them social media mentors. Um, that are giving out game. Um, that's a big recommendation, and it's really helpful. Uh, that's what happened with me. I started following some influential people, um, and what really got me to change my perspective on the way a family should be is I watched a video of, it was a 6-year old girl. She was blindfolded, and she was identifying different caliber ammunitions. And I was like, damn, the hell is that, right? Um, and I started following uh, marketing legend, man. He's he's a good ass marketer. His name is Derek Grace. Derek Grace 2. If you guys don't know who he is, look him up. Follow him. Instagram, Facebook. He's giving out game daily. But I seen that video and it was just like, well, what is this, right? And I started looking it up. Started looking up more stuff, and you know, from then on, I just started thinking differently, right? I started catching wind of different other. I started catching wind of different, social media mentors. I caught wind of a podcast called Earn Your Leisure. Go and follow them on YouTube. Uh, they're doing big things with the melanin community, with the black community. And, shout out to Rashad and Troy. Man, I hope you guys get wind of this. Would love to have you on the show too. Um, but they did inspire me because, you guys are doing your thing for the melanin community. Um, but I want to make sure that we have something for the Latino community too, because a lot of we can't really relate because of the culture. So I want to make sure that we have a platform where we can definitely grow our financial literacy too. But definitely go and follow Earn Your Leisure. From following Earn Your Leisure, it was like a Pandora's box, man. It opened up a Pandora box of knowledge. It opened my eyes to a bunch of new money making ideas, and it introduced me to social media mentors like Wall Street Trapper. All these I'm about to name, and I recommend everybody follow them, giving out game all day. So shout out Wall Street Trapper, 19 Keys, Ian Dunlap, MG, the mortgage guy, Truth Jones, which is a youngster, man, doing his thing in the stock market. The credit dude who is talking about credit. I know that's something that we definitely need to know. Neil Davis. I mean, just every episode that they have 100 something episodes, man, is just a bunch of game that was being given. And this is just like a spider web, right? Just boom, I get this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. And I want to go ahead and be able to try to do our own thing. But I can, sit here and just start naming a bunch of people, but it's some game to be given, right? Um, and I want to make sure that the Latino community gets it too. Um, Something else happened when I started doing this, and it's like a cheat code, right? A lot of people are always looking for, hey, what's the cheat code? How can I make money fast? Whatever. So I'll give you guys a cheat code. What happened? I started reading. I started reading. That's it. I started reading. We need to start reading again. It's been lost. I mean, they got apps that will read your book for you. I don't think it's the same. Um, I think if you read it, it's gonna stick more. I started reading, but it depends what type of material you're gonna be reading too, right? It's not that you're gonna be reading James Patterson books, right? Uh, I'm not saying they're bad books or anything, but we're talking about we need to start reading some material that is gonna give us some knowledge on things that we're gonna be needing. Um, some of the books I read, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Never Split the Difference is a good book. The Intelligent Investor. I recommend anybody that's gonna, start investing in the stock market, read The Intelligent Investor. Can't Hurt Me. Just, a bunch of books that are motivational books, books about finance, just with whatever's going on with me. I'm trying to read a book to see if I could get some help with it. But I realized that we need to grow our knowledge. Some of the topics that we're talking about on this podcast is going to be true history, no watered down history that they're giving in the school. Financial literacy, definitely. How to build generational wealth. We're going to be talking about life insurance. We're going to be talking about LLCs, trust, established wills, health, your diet, how to have an essential product. We're going to be talking about the blockchain, NFTs, cryptocurrencies. Um, it's going to be a long list of different things that we're going to be talking about. Let me just plug this in real quick. Um, so you guys just get, some idea of what we're going to be talking about. I have already known, that we've been lied to. It's been quite some time that, I've known this already, but not to a degree that I know it now. I mean, we've really been bullshitted ever since we started school. It's there was people that made a system. They used smart people to come, like psychologists, everything that would get us into a system that would make us all the same and not really worry about anything that's going on in real life, right? So that if you think that, again, if you think that society it works for you, it does not. Man, hit me up in the comment section. Hit me up, hit my lineup, whatever. I want to talk to you. Um, so you know, but we're gonna be talking about it. I mean, it's something that we're gonna be talking about always. Um, but I'm glad to be the one. If you still don't know that, I'm glad to be the one that's introducing this concept to you. Do your research. Information is everywhere on the internet. But it is the greatest lie ever told. We've been bullshitted. Um, but the purpose of this podcast, Familia Assets and Familia Fridays. I did it on Friday on purpose. I know it's against all odds. Friday people got things to do. They're getting off of work. But I did it on Fridays because I know that the weekend is when we come and we start, spending on just stuff that we really don't need. So I hope that you watch this podcast and it kind of you put some money aside to invest before you do anything else. Um, but in my journey, that of my information gathering, like I said, I talk to my family, I talk to loved ones, and I've been like, hey, what's up? This is the stock market. Are you investing in anything? And they all looked at me like I'm crazy. The same thing. It's a scam. It's crazy that some people think it's a scam still. But I sat back, I started analyzing everything, and it's not a coincidence, that we don't know about these things. We're meant to not know. There's people that are making money off our ignorance. Um, so we got to, turn the tables around, man. Um, we did see a report. It shows that Latino families are less likely to own real estate, businesses, financial and retirement assets. When we do own some assets, they're very low valued. Usually, a house that we got, um, but we don't treat it as an asset. Um, and there is a report that shows that the average or the typical white family has about 184,000 in family wealth. This could be in real estate, this could be in stocks, bonds, trusts. However, it is the typical white family has 184,000. It shows that the Latino family, a typical Latino family, owns about 38,000. Uh, where I'm from, I don't know too many families that have, $38,000 that are circulating, that are to ensure generational wealth. So I'm not sure, hit me up, man. If there's Latinos, that want to contradict this information, definitely let me know. I want to talk to you. Um, but I don't think that there's too many of our families that have, money circulating around like that. Um, if we do have money, then it's probably in a savings account, and that's not where it should be. We're losing money pretty much in a savings account because of inflation. So I want you guys to know that saving money in a savings account is not doing you a service. So this is purpose for this podcast as well. Um, but we really ain't thinking about generational wealth. Um, if we have it in a savings account, we're not thinking about generational wealth. And a lot of us are thinking about what we're gonna do to make things ends meet this month. So we definitely need to get our finances together. If we're living paycheck to paycheck, there's some tightening up that has to be done. We really got to get a paper. You got to put down all your expenses, and you got to really start doing that type of work, because living paycheck to paycheck is not a way to be living. And sadly, a lot of our Latino community is living this way. Um, but we do have to change the way that we think, because mi gente, it can't be possible that we're getting into debt to throw a party. I know people that are getting into debt because they want to throw a party. Does not make no sense. I know people that are getting into debt to go out drinking, and it's like we got to change, the way that we're thinking. And a lot of that has to do with us not knowing financial literacy, right? Because we don't know the way that credit works. I mean, um, banks are getting rich off us. They're giving us credit cards that are, twice as much as what we're actually making. We're not even knowing. Boom, boom, boom. Next thing the credit card is maxed out, and you know, and then we're just stuck. Paying minimum takes I don't know how many years to pay. So we really got to start changing the way that we're thinking. But basically, this blog is to bring awareness to my Latino community about financial literacy. I want to talk about good health, because we've been lied to about that too. Uh, Generational wealth, the blockchain, and just any information that's going to better our people. We're already big on familia. That's in our blood, right? It's in our core values. Let's go ahead and just take it up a notch, and let's start being big on generational wealth. Let's start thinking about the young kings and the young queens, the little ones, because there's going to be a time when we're not going to be here, and they're going to have to, keep the ball rolling. So we got to start training them to know what they're going to be doing with the money. We got to start acquiring assets. Um, what's the definition of an asset? The definition of an asset is something that has value, that someone holds, that they hope that it will go up in value. A perfect asset is one that generates cash flow. So an example would be a property, right? You purchase a property and it's going up in value, right? Um, so let's say you purchase it at 100,000. 5 years from now, it's probably going to be worth like 150 or X amount of dollars, right? So it's going up in value. So that's an asset. But for it to generate cash flow would be if you would put a renter in there. So now the renter is paying you rent, and that's cash flow for you. So that's an asset that's generating cash flow. And there's so many different assets. We got to get creative with it. It's not just the stock market. Um, you know, a, a sports card could be an asset. If you invest money into a LeBron James sports card, right now probably costs, let's say it costs like $1,000. Um, you hold it for a while. 5 years from now, that card could probably be worth $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. I don't know, but that's an asset, right? So we could get creative with it. It doesn't have to be just the stock market, but we got to start acquiring things that are going to go up in value. Gold, silver is going up. Cryptocurrency is going to be going up. The thing is that right now, crypto is a bunch of different crypto. There's still some time. We got to see what's going to happen with that. Um, but the schools are not teaching any of this, right? So it's our job to educate our kids, our young kings, our young queens about stuff like credit. about stuff like life insurance. We have to know about life insurance, about health, right? It's crazy because 95% of the food in our grocery stores now ain't even food. It's just, processed stuff, a bunch of different things. Um, but we got to teach about real health. I want my people to know that you don't have to do anything illegal to be making money. I still got people that I talk to. They're like, man, I'm trying to make money, man. I'm over here, selling drugs. I'm over here doing this, and it's we don't have to do that. I mean, we're risking our freedom. We're risking being locked up years, man, and it's crazy with the life. We have time, but we don't have time. Um, but the game has been laid out for everybody to play, especially now in this time. We definitely need to have a seat at the table. It, you know, basically, what technology has done right now has opened doors. Couple years ago or whatever, or before YouTube or anything, I wouldn't be able to have this live video and do something like this. I would have to get on TV somehow, pull some strings, start doing this. But technology has made it for that everybody could do whatever they want. um, I put a post the other day saying, if you're thinking, I'm pretty sure every one of us has been thinking about something that we want to do, then do it. Figure out how to get it started and do it ASAP. Don't worry about getting everything perfect, because it's never going to be perfect. It's going to be, as time goes by, it's going to start working. If it doesn't work that way, we switch it. So if there's something you want to do it. Find out a way to get it done and just start it. Um, Again, I chose Fridays because I want you guys to get this information in before the weekend. But I want everybody to start reading. Start reading up on things to invest. Do your own research. I'm here, just to kind of open the door for you to start into knowing more about different things. And it's all right, to have a 9 to 5. I'm talking to a friend of mine. He's like, man, not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. You don't got to be an entrepreneur, right? But you can't tell me that you don't want more freedom. And this is definitely the way, to get it. Investing is for freedom. That's the goal, right? The money is not. Money is just a tool. The goal is to freedom. Um, it's a proven system that works. We have to stop thinking that it's a scam as far as the stock market. It's been working for a long time, century or two, not sure exactly, but it's been working. Um, and what I want to do, before letting you guys go, thank you very much, for listening out to my story. Um, I just wanted to let you guys know kind of my background, where I'm coming from. Um, but I want you guys to know just the basics of the stock market. Um, so the stock market, there was a version of it that started like in the 1600s, right? There was a company that employed hundreds of ships to different places, around the world, and they were trading gold, porcelain, different things, spices, whatever. Um, but they were running a massive operation, right? And it wasn't cheap. So what they did is they started to fund their expensive voyages from private people like you and me, right? So they went to people, and the people started investing. They gave them money to fund their voyages, and in exchange for that, they would get a share of the ship's profits. So the stock market is changed, a lot since then. It's a lot of different things to look into. There's analytics. There's very mathematical different things that are in it now. Um, but basically, what the stock market is where a bunch of companies go, right? Where they're looking for investors. They're looking for people like you and me, people, companies as well, to invest in their business. And let's say I have a company, right? I have a company, ELV. Shout out ELV again, Nicaragua. If you guys are coming, hit me up. I'll let you guys know all the best places to go. But let's say, right, I'm going into the stock market, right? The first thing that I'll do is I advertise to big investors, and if they think that my company is a good idea, then they get first dibs in investing in my company. They give me money, and they sponsor my initial public offering, IPO. So this launches my company onto the public market, and by the time well, at this time, when I launch it to the public market, I basically get my company. It's like let's say it's a piece of pie, and I divide it into shares, right? Let's say I do like 1 million shares. So 1 million shares are available for the public to buy. Now, let's say that my share costs $1. And somebody comes and they buy 100 shares of my company, which costs $100. So they invested $100 into ELV. Now, somebody comes and they invested the $100. Now, whenever we buy stock in a company, we become part owners of that company. If I buy Apple stock, just to say a name, right? Apple stock because it's famous. If I buy Apple stock, I am now, if I buy one Apple stock, I am part owner of Apple, and it's a percentage, 0.000000001, whatever percent. But nonetheless, I am literally part owner of Apple. So this person came, he bought 100 of my shares. Now he is part owner in ELV. Now, as it becomes more successful, it is going to become more successful. Um, More people start to invest in it, right? So people get the word out. Hey, ELV, look at ELV is doing this. ELV is partnering with this person. ELV is doing this. So it starts getting, successful. More people start investing into it. Um, Now, when more people start investing into it, then the price of each share starts going up. So let's say that it went from $1, it goes up to $5 a share. So the initial investment of $100 that was done to ELV would now be worth $500. So if that person that invested um, $100 into ELV, if they went up to five and they want to take their money out, then they would make a profit of $400. That's pretty much the stock market, right? Basic stock market. You invest in a company that you think is going to go up, that is going to be a good company. You did your research, right? You looked at the company. In the Intelligent Investor, it talks about how you have to see like 5 years of the whole company, see what's been going on with it before you even invest in it. But you got to do your research, right? You got to make sure that you think about a company that's going to be going up. Um, this is not just for the rich, right? The stock market is not just for the rich. I think that that's a myth that a lot of people still got in their mind. We need to change that. There are apps that you can download and you can start trading in the stock market just like you were a big time investor. Um, there's a lot of people that still think that it's not for them, and they don't even want to touch it with a 10 feet pole. I'm here to tell you that we need to start investing. Start looking at the companies that you want to invest in. I mean, if you're Disney alive, you're buying a bunch of Disney products, if you're doing, everything Disney, your whole house is Disney, and you don't have stock in Disney, then we got to get you some stock in Disney. And it's a good company to invest in. If you see the charts, a couple episodes from now, we're going to be, or I think next episode, we're going to be seeing charts. But if you're buying all this stuff already from Disney, might as well be part owner in Disney, right? So we got to start looking at it that way. And I got that from Wall Street Trapper. I got to give a shout out. He is giving a lot of game. Go follow him. Um, but that's basically the stock market. Explain in a nutshell. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a professional. I don't have any degree or anything on this, but the information is out there. Go do your research. Let's start changing the way that we think about finance. Let's start making it a natural topic to talk about, within the family. Whenever we get united with, the whole family, start talking about a plan for the whole family to start investing, because that's where generational wealth really comes in. I mean, you invest $50, $50 is $50. But if you're talking to the family and you're like, hey, everybody, let's put in, if the family is 20 people, let's put in $20, then it's definitely something that can be worked. Um, but just to get you guys a perspective, of how to make money, or where money is being made in the stock market. Um, if you invested $100 into Amazon back in 1997, $100, and you didn't invest nothing else into Amazon, today your $100 would be worth 3,000. No, it would be worth $371,900. So your investment of $100 in 1997 would have been worth $371,900 today. This is an extreme case with Amazon, right? They are a beast. They are doing their thing. Um, but it's just kind of get you a perspective of how investing works. There's a bunch of companies out there that are going to be big. Just to give you guys some idea, the EV market is going to be blowing up. Tesla already blew up. If you invested in Tesla, you know, a year or two ago, you left the money there, you made money on Tesla. Uh, so we got to start changing, our financial process that we have. If we're saving money, there's a lot of different options that we have that we're going to be introducing to you guys for the next episodes. But basically, the key takeaways that I want you guys to get from this podcast is I want you guys to invest in our children's education. Not talking about the school that you send them over to. We got to have, education about financial literacy. Um, you know, the only way we can invest in our children is investing in ourselves first. So let's, start listening to podcasts that are going to help us out. If you're a podcast listener, let's start watching YouTube videos about investing, about cryptocurrency, about anything that's going to help you out with generational wealth. Let's start reading. That's something that I know is not easy to do. Everybody always says, I don't got time, I don't got time. If we really break down our schedule, there's definitely at least 4 hours there of us not doing shit. Probably Facebooking, Instagramming, watching a video on YouTube that has nothing to do with nothing. So let's put some time aside and let's start investing in ourselves. I'm definitely not a financial advisor. I want to get that straight. I'm not here to tell you guys what to do with your money. I'm just here to let you know that there is different options out there. I'm simply a Latino, wanting better for my people. Uh, I want you guys, to start doing your own research. As far as this episode, we just talked simple uh, about what the stock market is. uh, Go and do your research. Go take a little more deep dive into the stock market and how it works. There's different avenues. It's not just stocks. A lot of people say that, man, I don't want to risk my money on that, because it is possible that a company, goes down. If you did your research on the company, it shouldn't be any reason why that company went down. um, but anyways, there is different options. It's not just stocks, right? There's bonds out there that you gain more of a percentage of interest than putting it into a savings account, and it's fairly safe. There's different ways you can go, but what I really want everybody to take away is that we need to unlearn everything that we have been taught. Um, it's crazy to say, but we have been manipulated since we were babies, since we started school. Um, and we need to unlearn all that. I wish that I had, that little MIB device, to just boom, erase everybody's memory. And we need to start relearning, key things that are gonna help us out with generational wealth, and ensure that our young kings and queens are going to be straight when we're gone, and that their kids are going to be straight, and their kids and their kids and their kids are going to be straight. So that's what we're going to be talking about on this podcast. um, you know there's something that I read. It said that the amount of wealth of a family starts out the amount of wealth that a family starts out with, it will predict, how much additional wealth we're going to be getting. And this does create a vicious cycle. So, if I were to be, just broke, it would come up to my kids, right? My kids would have that mindset of just being broke. They're their kids and their kids, and it's going to be crazy, because it's hard to break something that's so natural. But I challenge everybody, to expand their minds, start, questioning things, not just, you know, thinking that just because somebody that's that looks like it's an authority, or somebody that probably knows what he thinks, what he's talking about, we're just gonna take him for that, right? So let's start opening, our minds. Let's start questioning things, not just taking them for what they are. um, and let's stop feeding our mind garbage, right? Like I said before, if you're following a bunch of people that are not doing anything positive for you, I cleaned out a bunch of people on my feed. It's something that I would recommend for a lot of you too. Let's start watching what we're eating, what we're feeding our kids. Man, 95% of the food in the grocery store is not even food. It's crazy. Let's start researching that too. To all my Latinos, and anybody who wants to come out on the show and wants to, you know, help us out in explaining anything, um, hit me up, comment section. I'll leave my information in the description. But I'm excited to get these things started. So drop a comment, what topics you guys want to talk about. I'm sure we're going to get to all of them. Leave your feedback. I want to know, what we can do to better this. I'm definitely going to work on having this back thing a little bit more flashy for you guys, get you guys a little bit more in the Latino vibe. Got my Nicaragua flag right here. Shout out to all my Nicoyas out there in the States. Um, we're gonna be back next week at the same time, 7 p.m. or I'm sorry, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm out here in Nicaragua. Shout out all my family out there, all my loved ones. Um, I'm feeling real good about this. This is our first episode. I was, real nervous, coming on here. I got a message from my primo. He was like, "Man, I seen your message yesterday." He goes about getting started. He goes, and I see it was a picture of him working out, right? So that definitely pumped me up in the morning. Thanks for that. But I'm ready to see Mi Gente rise, man. I'm ready to see my people at the table. I want to start everybody who got stories, like Investing Latina did, with their 19-year-old sister, sharing with me, man. Stories are real powerful. We definitely want to uplift, our whole community. Let's start putting all the bullshit aside, man. If you got family members, that you guys ain't talking to over bullshit, man, find a way to get together, man. Talk it out. There's definitely bigger things that have to be done. I'm promoting, unity. Shout out Golden State Warriors, man. There is strength in numbers, and we got to unite, man. We got to unite. This is definitely gonna, you know, bring our generational wealth in a complete circle. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about. I already passed the hour that I wanted to do, but we're definitely gonna get to it. Thank you, everybody, for listening to my story. This was basically an episode where I wanted you guys to know me, who I am, where I'm at. I'm just getting started in this too. I don't want you guys to think that I got it all figured out. I want you guys to be along with me in this journey. Uh, so we can do it together. And I'm ready, man. I'm ready to get this started. I'll see you guys next week. I want to thank everybody for their time. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. Peace.